Yasharala. This is your brother Shemar with Ancient Watchmen. We had various technical difficulties with live session earlier and yesterday on Facebook. So unfortunately, we couldn't do the live and do the class that we have prepared for you, Latinos and Native Americans, concerning is Christ a Hametic, African-looking man? Is the Mosai described as a Hametic African man, according to the scripture, right? So we're gonna show you, we're gonna go into the scriptures and break it down for you, brothers and sisters out there. My brothers, my name is Shemar with Ancient Watchmen, and to my right we got Jose Vega, aka Abad Hara Wataza, or the Diligent Destroyer, because the brother's been destroying a lot of false doctrines within the Hebrew movement. He's gone to boards, commenting back and forth, going back and forth with Negro lives, defending Latinos and Native Americans, and the brother's hated for it, right? And just like Christ said, you know, ye shall be hated for by all people for my name's sake, for the truth's sake, we are being hated on. And a lot of people are making posts about us, slandering our names, this and that and the third. But at the end of the day, none of it has been able to debunk the information that we have presented to the nation concerning who the Canaanites are, concerning a lot of the colored scriptures that a lot of these brothers within the Hebrew movement have twisted to fit their own selves into the book. So, as we know, One West and their camps have been pushing half-truths mixed with lies and pseudo-information to push their agenda of deception, to deceive you Latinos and Native Americans. Now, why? Give me that scripture in Proverbs 14:15. This is why a lot of you Latinos and Native Americans are being deceived and are easily deceived. This is why.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15. The simple believeth every word.
The simple believeth every word. And a lot of you Latinos and Native Americans coming into this truth, you have believed every single word, every single doctrine that a lot of these brothers have taught you within these Hebrew movements, because you are simple. You don't care to diligently search and research and reading context and go into the history of the Bible, go into the context of the scriptures. Why? Because these people are cherry picking the scriptures, twisting the scriptures to fit their own selves into the book and to push their own agenda. Read on.
This is Proverbs chapter.
Give me another reader.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going.
But the prudent man looketh well for his going. To be prudent means to care, to diligent research, and a lot of our people lack to do that nowadays. Why? Because they don't care. They're not diligent, just like we are called to be diligent in everything that we do in our walk, right? Because now our people are drinking all this wine that has defiled the minds and the spirit and the subconscious self of our people with their imagery, with their idolatry that they have been pushing out, right? So now, again, and the whole thing is that our people are failing because the Mosai said that he was going to leave Canaanites amongst us to serve us as a test, to be proven by them. And guess what? We are being proven by these people because the Mosai Yahweh left them amongst us, and we are failing. Our people are following their gods. Our people are following their idols and what their idols look like, because our people are simple. You have believed every word of doctrine that has come out of the mouths of these people, lying to you Latinos and Native Americans. And today we're going to bring it out and we're going to expose their colored scriptures concerning Christ and the Mosai Yahweh. Do they look Hametic, African looking? And the question is no. But anyway, we're going to read into Exodus. We're going to go into Exodus chapter 20, 3-5.
This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before thee, Latino and Native American men and Gypsy men. You are not supposed to have another God, and that's exactly what has happened throughout history. You Latinos and Native Americans have acquired different gods all throughout the ages. When we were in Samaria, we made molten images of different gods, this and that and the third, and that's why we went into slavery under the Assyrians. Now, when we came on this side of the world, we created our own idols, following our own gods, made of stone, Tlaloc, Quetzalcoatl, this and that and the third, Itzatzihuatl, so on and so forth. So our people have followed all the gods, and mostly the god of the Canaanites. We're going to go into that later on. Read on, bro.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. And a lot of these scams have done just that. They have created their own image after their own likeness, according to their own Hametic African features. And that's not what the scripture says. Is that it?
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Or anything that's above, below, on the earth, under the ocean, nothing. And guess what? These camps have created their own images. Certain camps have created their own images and they have pushed that out onto the world. The entire world is being defiled as we speak. And a lot of you Latinos are being grafted into that deception. And you don't even know it. You're pushing an agenda as well, subconsciously, unconsciously. Because you have been deceived into a lie, because you are simple. You don't like to ask questions, right? Anyway, so from there we're gonna go to Isaiah 44. Let's see. We're gonna read it.
This is Isaiah chapter 44, verse 9. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity.
See, a lot of you campers, IUIC, One West, you are all vain because you have created an image according to your features. According to your features, the scripture doesn't say that the Most High looks like a Hamite or an African man. That's your ideology. That's your vanity. You are vain because you want God to look like you. And that's vain. And a lot of you Latinos are simple for following vanity.
And their delectable things shall not profit, and they are their own witness.
See, they are their own witnesses. They created their own image. They see that going on. They created that crafty council to create their own image according to their own vanity. And a lot of you Latinos are failing. Moses said in the law, thou should not make any graven images, and yet you're following those images.
They see not, nor know, they may be ashamed. Who have formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing.
That image that a lot of you campers have created, One West, IUIC, and all of them, is profitable for nothing but lies and deception. You have lied to your own people, to your own selves. You have deceived your own selves, but you also have deceived the real Shemitic Hebrew Israelites.
It says, behold, all of his followers shall be ashamed, and the workmen that are of a man. Let them all be gathered together. Let them stand up. Yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together.
You see that? You brothers are going to be ashamed because we're going to bring out the understanding, and Christ does not look like a Hamite, West Knives type of figure. That's going to be your shame. Jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. The carpenter stretcheth out his rule. He maketh it out with a line. He fitted it with planes. And he marked it out with the compass. And he maketh it after the figure of a man.
After the figure of a man. Like these carpenters, these photoshoppers, these people that work in the computers and drones and stuff. You have fitted this image according to your own self, according to your own appearance.
according to the beauty of a man,
according to the beauty of Elder Nathaniel,
that it may remain in the house.
that it may remain in the house. You want to say something?
Go ahead.
Like that it may remain in the house, and that's exactly what we see with these camps in IUIC. They have an image in their homes, in their houses, in their profile pictures, pushing that agenda that Christ looked like a Hamite, like an African man. And that's a lie. Just like Brother Jose and I, we used to go to this congregation, and when he invited his wife, his family, the first thing that his wife noticed was Jose's wife asked him, why is there image of this, African God on the wall? I thought we were not supposed to have images. What's going on? What is going on here? See, and our people are simple. Again, it's vanity.
Book of Acts now?
Yeah, the book of Acts. A lot of people don't understand that predominant image of the Black Christ was created according to the features of Nathaniel and the leadership of IUIC. You brothers can research it. You're going to find out that is the truth. Those are facts. And you brothers are following this nonsense. You're following these Canaanite gods. You are failing, Latinos and Native Americans.
Now you're going to start showing the New Testament?
Acts 17:29.
All right, this is the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 29. For so much, then, as we are the offspring of God, we ought to not think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device.
You see? We know that we are the creation of the Most High. So just because we're the creation of the Most High doesn't give us the right to say, well, we are the creation of the Most High. Therefore, the Most High looks like me. Let me paint an image according to what I think he looks like. And that's exactly what has happened. These Canaanite campers, One West, IUIC, and all these splinter groups have created an image according to their own likeness because they are vain, just like we read in Isaiah 44. They are vain and they are going to be ashamed because they have been pushing out a lie. And they have lied to their own selves too. Right? So we are not to think that God looks like you and I. We are not to even imagine. And that's exactly what has happened. These images have been created in Photoshop. They have been created in a computer to appear to look Hametic African people. So,
and now we're going to show you the reason why we're calling a lot of these brother Canaanites is because we all know that if we do not accept that Christ is a so-called black man, then we're Edomites, we're Spaniards, we're agents, we're all these things under the sun. All because we don't subscribe to whatever they claim Christ looks like, whether he's white, black, or whatever. And like I brought up earlier in my other class, that if these brothers knew that Christ didn't look like a so-called Negro or African, whatever, that they wouldn't serve Christ. And we all know this to be facts. We all know this to be true.
Didn't you do an experiment?
Yes, I did an experiment a few months ago, like 6 months ago, where I put up a Hispanic-looking Christ and a white-looking Christ and saying, well, why can't Christ look more like the Hispanic than the white-looking Christ? And what did the One West brothers who claim that we're brothers, oh yeah, we're brothers, yeah. What did they do on my comment board? They posted nothing but black-looking Christ. As to tell me, it's like, no, Christ can't look like you, brother. Even though they call us brothers. Oh no, Christ can't look like no Native American. You crazy.
They will never accept the fact that Christ does not look
like. Yeah, exactly. Even if Christ was to look like a Native American or a Hispanic, whatever the case may be, they would not worship him. They would probably throw away the book.
Right, and leave the truth.
And this is what we're trying to show you, brothers. And they like to use all these scriptures carnally. And we have been destroying these color scriptures for a while now, showing everybody how they twist the scriptures. And now we're going to show you today how they twist how Christ looks in Revelations. And how it's easier if we take it carnally how it's easier to make Christ look more white than it is for him to look black.
All right, so this is Revelations 1:14. It says, his head and his hairs.
So now it's telling you, describing two things. His head and his hair, right? Two different things. They're about to describe for you people. Keep reading.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So now it gives you the color and the texture of his hair that was on his head, right? Keep reading.
As white as snow.
So what is as white as snow? His head. It just gave us the color and the texture of his hair. So what is as white as snow? His head. And to further back that up, read verse 16.
Revelation 1:16, and it says, and he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. And his countenance.
It says his countenance now. When you go into the Greek, countenance means your face, your appearance, right? It's like what?
Was as the sun shineth in his strength.
It's just like the sun shining at its brightest.
I don't think that the sun is black.
Exactly. When you look at the image, these images right here, we're showing you how the sun looks at its brightest. Now, to hit him with a precept, we can hit him also with Daniel's. Daniel's 10. Go ahead.
Book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 6, it says, his body also was like the beryl.
So his body was like the beryl. Like, look at these images. You want to say something about the images?
Yeah, like the beryl, right? We have different types of beryl. We got pink, we got blue, we got white beryl, and we got yellow beryl, right? So I don't think Christ or the Most High look like a green man or like a blue man or like a pink man, right?
Khan.
It looks like beryl, and beryl is like this brother looks right here. We can see his color, the yellow beryl, and the body himself. They look alike, just like it continues on to say, I'm gonna read it again, Daniel 10:6. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning.
So now it's telling you that his face was the appearance of lightning. Now, if you look at this image again, what color is lightning?
I don't think
so. Now we have 3 precepts of the head looking as white as snow, as the sun shining at its brightest, and as the appearance of lightning. How are you getting a black man out of that?
And it says, and his eyes as the lamps of fire, brown eyes, not red eyes. Not like he was smoking weed.
Now let's go. Now we're going to address.
Let me finish.
Oh, go ahead. Go finish up.
And his arms and his feet like on color to polished brass. And you see what brass looks like when it's polished? We can see the brass that is not polished, and then we can see the polished brass. And it doesn't look like a Hamite West Nile type of people.
Con. Now go back to Revelations and read verse 15. Because now we're going to address the burning in a furnace.
Alright, Revelations 1:15, it says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace.
So now the black Hebrew Israelites or these One West will like to use this to show you, well, look, it's showing you that it's brass as it burned in a furnace. Well, anybody who's familiar with blacksmiths, you know that you put anything in a furnace, especially those type of materials like metal, brass, gold, silver, they all melt. They do not turn black. This is how the blacksmiths used to make armor back in the Roman days, the Greek days. They used to make brass, metal, all types of armors, shaping it, forming it, doing all types of things with these objects. Right. How did they do it, and how did they bend it and do all these things? by melting it in a furnace.
First. Right.
And this is exactly what it looks like when you burn it in a furnace.
Right. I'm going to read it again. Revelation 1:15. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if, not that it burned actually, it's saying as if. It doesn't say, oh, it burned actually. It got burned. It says as if they burn in the furnace.
Now we're going to read you, to also back that up, we're going to read you to the very next chapter of Revelations 2:18. Because again, it describes the color of his feet. And let's go see if it says burnt brass this time, or I was going to say fine brass, like I said last time. Go ahead.
Revelations 2:18. And unto the angel of the church in Thyatira, write, these things say the Son of God.
So who is the Son of God? This is talking about Christ here. Go ahead.
Who had his eyes like unto a flame of fire, brown eyes, and his feet are like fine brass.
And now it's saying his feet are like fine brass. And this is the color of fine brass. So again, how are you getting a Wesley Snipes black man out of these scriptures? This is where we're trying to show you people how delusional or how the spells that they have been casting upon us.
So our people are simple as hell.
Exactly, we are simple. Because right here we just read that it was definitely the Son of God. Now go back to Revelations 1 and 14.
13 you mean?
13.
Revelations 1:13 it says, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Men.
What do you mean like unto the Son of Man?
I guess he didn't recognize him.
This is John the Revelator, a man who walked with Christ. Why would he say one who looked like the Son of Man? Because maybe this wasn't even Christ here. Right. What proof is it that it's Christ here? It doesn't say it was Christ there. It said it looked like the one of Son of Man. But then in Revelations 2, it definitely lets us know it's talking about Christ.
The Son of God.
It said the Son of God. And then what did it say his feet, the color of his feet was? Again.
And his feet are like fine brass. Revelations 2:18.
Fine brass. And again, this is how fine brass looks like. So this is how we definitely know that this is talking about Christ here. If, again, we're talking about the scriptures carnally. But we know when we read Revelations 1, 14 down, that's all spiritual. And we'll break that down in another lesson for you
symbolically,
people.
Right.
Okay? But right now we're just talking about the lies of the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites and the so-called camps. And their Canaanite agendas.
Psalms 106?
Yeah, get Psalms 106.
We got Psalms 106 verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, meaning the Canaanites that were supposed to be destroyed off of the face of the earth. We failed to do so. Verse 35. But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And that's what's going on within these camps. And they serve their idols, and that's what's going on with a lot of you Latinos and Native Americans.
We're doing it today. We are serving their idol, the image that these Canaanites are pushing. Keep reading, because we're going to show you something.
Which were snare unto them. Verse 37. Yet they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan.
See, there you go. This is what the Canaanites did to us back in the day. They used to make us sacrifice our sons and our daughters to their Canaanite gods.
Right.
But they can't do that today in today's society. They know they can't because we have these laws. So what's their new tactic? What's their new way to try to... Oh, Christ is black. Christ is this dark black man.
And if Latinos deny that...
Oh, you're a racist, you're an Edomite, you're a Spaniard, you're an agent, you're all these things.
You're getting sacrificed by these Canaanites.
That's the new sacrifice.
Because we don't accept their gods. Because all of a sudden the Hametic tribes are waking up, and now they're realizing the lies from the truth, and the truth from the lies.
Come on.
So our people are being sacrificed nowadays. Our names are being slander because we don't follow their doctrines anymore. We exposing their doctrines and their Canaanite agenda.
Just like this image right here, where it shows you that we're showing right here that of us making sacrifices and us following their culture.
Right.
And it's funny because most of their arguments are, oh, you guys want to, everybody wants to be like the black man, blah, 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 blah. Well, right here, it's telling you that we wanted to be like the Canaanites. We follow the cultures of the Canaanites. We sacrifice our children to their Canaanite gods.
Right. And
why? Because of Jeremiah chapter 2. Get Jeremiah chapter 2 real quick. This is the reason why. And we're still doing it today.
Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 25, it says, withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou sayest, there is no hope. Mm-hmm. No, for I have loved strangers, and after them will I go.
See, that's been Israel's problem always. We have always loved the other nations.
And their gods.
And their gods, and we wanted to follow them. It says it, read it again on the last sentence. For I have loved strangers and what?
For I have loved strangers, and after them will I go.
Follow the other stranger. We follow their customs. Even to the point where we sacrifice our own children to their own Canaanite gods.
That's how much love we have for these gods. And that's exactly what we see within the camps. Yeah. For the other nations. That's exactly what we see today in these camps. You have a lot of Latinos and Native Americans subscribing to this nonsense. And the minute Jose Vega and I say, listen, bro, that's not what the scripture says. This is what the scripture is saying. We get hated on. We get death threats.
And like I said earlier, that all this just proves that these people are in a cult. Because we're just reading scripture to you and explaining it the right way, the proper breakdown. They can't get around how we just broke down Revelations 1 and 14, how twice it mentions Christ having a white head, or a white looking head. But yet they're talking about Christ as this dark looking Wesley Snipes man. It's ridiculous that these people can't even read scriptures right. Bring out, what we doing now? Numbers? I'll bring it out.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Right.
We're at Numbers what?
33, 51, 52. So
now we're going to continue with the Canaanites.
Right. So the Mosai told us, listen, when you go into the land of Canaan, make sure you destroy everybody there. Do not follow their customs, their gods. Don't follow nothing. Don't even marry, don't give your daughters to marry these people. Nor give your sons unto marry unto them as either. None of that. Destroy them all. If you do not do that, if we fail to do so, which we did, the Mosai said they're going to be a snare, thorns and thistles around your sides. And that's exactly what's going on today as we speak right now.
This is Numbers chapter 33, verse 51. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them,
Latinos and Native Americans, Gypsies scattered abroad,
when ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the lands from before you, and destroy all their pictures.
Destroy all their pictures. And that's exactly what we're getting ready to do. We are going to destroy these Canaanite pictures that they have created according to their own likeness.
And destroy all their molten images. And quick pluck down all their high places.
That's exactly what we're about to do. We've been getting ready, doing that all across the boards, on Facebook, on YouTube. We're destroying all their little temples in the spiritual sense with all their false doctrines. And that's what we're doing. And that's why you Latinos need to understand what the hell is going on. That which had been is that which shall be, and there's no new thing under the sun. All right, Yashra. So as we can say, we want to make a statement unto our nation and our people. You see these images right here? These images are false gods. These are the images and idols of the Canaanites that are amongst us today. They're pushing their own images. You see? It's garbage. This image right here, garbage too. Our people need to stop worshiping the idols of the other nations. Read what you got, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire.
We are going to burn this garbage with fire according to Torah. You Latinos and Native Americans that are simple as hell need to understand what's going on. Give me that thing, bro. We're going to burn this with fire. See? This is an idol right here. Latinos and Native Americans, this is not your God. This is the God of the Canaanites. In the name of Yahweh, we're going to burn this thing. It's going to burn. All with their false doctrines and black supremacy ideologies. Latinos and Native Americans need to understand this is not your God. This is God's. You see? This image right here is going to get burned too. These Hamite, these Canaanite gods are gonna get burned along with their doctrines and black supremacy ideologies. We don't give a damn. We don't care about these Canaanites. The Most High told you all to destroy them. And you see the white Christ? Much less.
See how quickly it burned?
That's what is left of these Canaanite gods. You see that? Ashes. Just like Yahweh told us to do. Ashes.
Yeah, we got burned every inch of it.
Just like Yahweh told us to burn when we came into the land of Canaan. Burn their images and their altars and their pictures and all of it.
Ash.
Turn it into ashes. Shalom, Yashra Allah. This is what we're supposed to. We should have done this a long time ago, thousands of years ago, but we didn't. We fell. And now look at it. Now we have to clean house.
They're trying to put that video together right now, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom, Yashra Allah. Brother Shemar with Ancient Watchman about the diligent destroyer.